Good afternoon. I hope everybody is well today. I'd like to share with you today a poem from unfoldinglight.net that refers to one of our verses for our lesson tomorrow for Sunday. We're from Romans 8:28 to 29. All things work together for good for those who love God, who are called according to God's purpose. For those whom God foreknew, God also predestined to be conformed to the image of God's beloved. I think the first part of that, all things work together for good for those who love God, often becomes a little bit trite, and we don't really think about what that means in our lives. And the poem here that I'm going to share sheds some light on how we can be the good in the world. We can be part of the good that is part of how things work out for God's purposes. So let me share this with you. It's called Destiny. This is who we are, particles of the light that is God. This is our purpose, our destiny. God intends this for everyone before we are created. God foreknew us. And so all of us, everyone, not just some special class, is predestined to be an image of God's love, called, justified, and glorified. This doesn't mean everything works out okay for God's favorite people. It means when we align ourselves with God's love, we are in harmony with the infinite force for good that is in all things. The universe is for us, not against us. Even in our failure or suffering, God's purpose advances through us. The world and its rewards and punishments knows nothing of this. Your calling is to give them a hint. The infinite delight of God works in all things to help you do this. Even if you fail, glory is your destiny. I love that phrase about how we can be a hint of God's good purpose and God's kingdom for the world, that we can bring that in the midst of coronavirus, in the midst of racial injustice, in the midst of political division, in the midst of all the things that are going on right now. We can be the hint of God's grace in the world and bring that to everyone. I wish you well today and invite you to join us for live worship tomorrow morning, 9:25, right here on this page. God's blessings.